In a quiet, unassuming town, there lived a young boy named Benjamin. He was known throughout the community for his somber disposition and the perpetual shadow that seemed to hang over him. His life was a relentless procession of sadness, and it had been that way for as long as anyone could remember. Benjamin's journey into sadness began with a tragic accident that occurred when he was just 5 years old. His parents, loving and caring, had taken him on a trip to a beautiful, remote forest on the outskirts of town. It was a day meant to be filled with joy, exploration, and laughter. But that day took a heartbreaking turn when, while hiking along a steep trail, Benjamin's parents lost their footing and plummeted down a treacherous ravine. The accident left Benjamin an orphan, and the memory of that day haunted him like a recurring nightmare. He was taken in by a kind-hearted elderly woman, Mrs. Thompson, who lived alone in a small cottage at the edge of the forest. She had known Benjamin's parents and felt a deep sense of responsibility to care for him. Despite Mrs. Thompson's best efforts to provide a loving and stable home, Benjamin couldn't shake the darkness that had settled within him. He often found solace in the very forest that had claimed his parents, wandering its winding paths for hours, as if searching for something he could never find. As the years passed, Benjamin's sadness deepened. He struggled to make friends and felt like an outsider in the close-knit town. His gloomy countenance, his tendency to withdraw from others, and his reluctance to share his pain only served to isolate him further. School was a torment for Benjamin. He was a bright and thoughtful boy, but his sorrow overshadowed his potential. He withdrew from his studies, and his grades began to plummet. His teachers tried to reach out, but the wall he had built around himself was impenetrable. One day, the school's art teacher, Mrs. Anderson, saw a glimmer of hope in Benjamin. She noticed his sketches, hidden away in the corners of his notebooks. His drawings revealed a talent for capturing emotions and landscapes with a depth that was unusual for someone his age. Mrs. Anderson recognized that art might be the key to unlocking the emotions trapped within him. She encouraged Benjamin to explore his talent further and offered him a scholarship to an art school in the nearby city. Benjamin hesitated at first, fearing the unknown and doubting his own abilities. But the prospect of a fresh start and the desire to express his inner turmoil through art eventually persuaded him to take the leap. The bustling city was a world away from the quiet town he had known. The noise, the crowds, and the fast pace of life were overwhelming. Benjamin felt like a small boat adrift in a vast sea. But he persevered, driven by the hope that this new chapter could lead to the healing he so desperately sought. At the art school, Benjamin found himself among a diverse group of students, each with their own stories and struggles. He threw himself into his work, channeling his emotions onto the canvas, creating masterpieces that seemed to speak to the pain he had carried for so long. Art became his lifeline, a means of expressing the inexpressible. Over time, Benjamin's art began to draw attention. He had a unique ability to capture the depth of human emotions, and his pieces resonated with those who saw them. People felt a connection to his work, as if he were expressing their own hidden sorrows. His paintings became a bridge to his heart, allowing others to glimpse the depth of his pain. One of Benjamin's pieces, a hauntingly beautiful portrait of a lone figure in a forest, caught the eye of a renowned art critic. The critic wrote a glowing review, praising Benjamin's ability to convey the complexities of human suffering. Suddenly, Benjamin found himself in the spotlight, a rising star in the art world. As his fame grew, so did his self-confidence. He began to open up about his own experiences, sharing the story of the tragic day in the forest and the profound sense of loss that had shaped his life. His honesty and vulnerability struck a chord with many, inspiring them to confront their own hidden pains and sorrows. Benjamin's journey from a sad and isolated boy to a celebrated artist served as a testament to the power of art to heal and connect. He had turned his profound sadness into a source of strength, creating a legacy of beauty and hope. His story became an inspiration to others, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is the potential for transformation and a path to healing. Benjamin's life was proof that, like the colors on a canvas, our darkest moments can ultimately be transformed into something beautiful and meaningful.